Question 2. What have you learned from your audience feedback? Hello and welcome to another dose of new media. Today we have Mad Productions with us to talk to us about their latest film, Purgatory, in which a young girl is in denial of the truth that her boyfriend has died. It's a deep drama that captures the audience. Speaking about the audience, what type of feedback did you gain from them?
We gained a lot of positive feedback from our audience with an average rating of 7 or 8 out of 10.
Yeah, the audience gave us a lot of praise but also some constructive criticism that helped us to improve our film.
Oh, that's good then. That leads me on to my next question. What did you learn from your feedback? Let's start with your animatic.
Well, the feedback from our animatic made us make a huge decision altering our entire plot. We still kept the whole in denial of the truth idea, but we originally had a child involved, which got brought to our attention that using a child actor would be a lot more difficult than we anticipated.
Yeah, so we scrapped the idea, which overall made it a lot easier to film, and also it was less time consuming as we would have had to fit around the child's school schedule. The voice acts on our animatic needed to be smoother, an audience member stated, but as that wasn't the actress speaking, it was one of our team members, we knew it would need to be done again by the actual actress.
Sounds like doing an animatic was a good idea as it made your job a lot easier in terms of the child. What about your rough cut then? Anything learned?
Well, the audience feedback on our rough cut was very helpful, as they mentioned things like the beanpole was in shot and how the continuity wasn't perfect, which we hadn't noticed.
They also speak about the music being too up-tempo and jolly for the narrative, and we needed smoother cuts so they weren't so obvious.
Did you take this advice on board?
Oh yes, definitely. The music was a lot more softer using string instruments to fit the tone, and we also cut some of the image so any equipment wasn't actually on show.
Our lighting was a bit off in one of our scenes. It was meant to look like nighttime, but it was broad daylight shining underneath the curtain. Silly mistake made by us, but we darkened the scene using saturation. It didn't help much, so in the end we had to cut it, unfortunately.
However, saying this, we did get some good comments. They said things like the excellent use of editing techniques, which was the graveyard slow motion part.
Which I love, by the way. Also, they said our scenes flowed together perfectly.
Oh, brilliant. Why did you decide to conduct questionnaires to gather audience feedback?
Well, we wanted to see what our peers thought, in case there was anything they thought we should change, or anything they enjoyed. Also, the age our peers are is the range of our target audience, so it did us good to see our chosen audience was the right one and gave us the insight into what they might think as well.
Also, just to add, it gave us a non-biased opinion, as they weren't going to gain or lose anything from giving their opinion, and they might see things we didn't.
Well, that answers my question perfectly. And last of all, is there any advice you ignored?
I don't think we did. We took all our advice on board and practically all the criticisms were true, so we changed and improved what needed doing.
We would just like to take this time to thank all of our peers for taking the time to fill out the questionnaires and give us advice so we could make our film the best it could be.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you for coming in, Mad Productions. It's been a pleasure. And to those watching at home, thank you for tuning in. And you can watch Purgatory in cinemas now or on the website www.madproductions.co.uk. That's all for me. Thank you and goodbye.